Greetings! Mantare79 here, and welcome back to another deck profile video for Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days! Alright then, let's get started. Pressing the A button now.
Cardfight Vanguard Deer Days.
Loading game and proceeding. Here we are in the main menu, off to the edit deck menu. And here we are in the edit deck menu. And now in today's video, the deck profile I'm here making one for is a Dark States, Diabolos Violence Bruce, D-BT06. And I'm gonna be using this Dark States, Diabolos Violence Bruce, D-Booster 4 deck as the base of the deck I'm gonna build. Okie dokie, let's get started. So going to edit deck, entering edit deck, and off we go! Here we are in the edit deck menu, and like I just mentioned before, the deck I'm building in today's deck profile video is a Dark States, Diabolos Violence Bruce deck, made up of cards only available up until D-Booster 6. So first, let's go to the filter settings and to pack, show only cards from, D-Booster 1, Genesis of the 5 Greats, D-Booster 2, A Brush with the Legends, D-Booster 3, Advance of Intertwined Stars, D-Booster 4, Awakening of Chakrabarti, D-Booster 5, Triumphant Return of Brave Heroes, Festival Collection 2021, Festival Collection 2022, Promo Pack number 1, and last but not least, the D-Booster 6 Blazing Dragon Reborn. Apply filter. And now let's get started with the Grade 4 lineup. For the Grade 4s of this deck, we are playing the Grade 4 Diabolos Unrivaled Bruce. Skills for skill, auto as a Vanguard. At the start of your right phase, until end of turn, you Final Rush. Second skill, auto as a Vanguard, once per turn. At the end of the battle, this unit attacked. If you are in Final Rush, cost Counter Blast 1 and Soul Blast 5. If the cost and paid, stand all of your front row units, and this unit gets Drive -2 until end of turn. So for Unrivaled Bruce, it's the main Grade 4 to ride in this deck. It skills the first skill. Just by being in your Vanguard circle while at the beginning of your right phase, you initiate Final Rush, thus allowing you to activate any skills that require your Vanguard to be in Final Rush. Second skill, after attacking with your Vanguard Unrivaled Bruce while in Final Rush, by paying the cost, you can stand all 4 units, Vanguard and Rearguard included, thus giving you 3 more attacks to potentially pressure or finish off your opponent with. And alrighty, the Grade 4, Diabolos Unrivaled Bruce. We got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 3 lineup. For the Grade 3s of this deck, we are playing right deck, Grade 3, Diabolos Violence Bruce. Skills for skill, auto as a Vanguard. At the start of your right phase until end of turn, you Final Rush. Specific units get a power up when they're in Final Rush. Second skill, auto as a Vanguard. When this unit attacks, if you are in Final Rush, cost Soul Blast 5. If the cost is paid, stand all of your front row rear guards. So for Violence Bruce, he's the main Grade 3 to ride his deck. If his skill is the first skill, just like the Grade 4 Bruce, just by being in the Vanguard circle while you're at the beginning of your right phase, you can activate Final Rush and activate skills that require Final Rush. Second skill, just by attacking with your Grade 3 Violence Bruce, as long as you're in Final Rush, by paying the cost, you can stand all 4 rear guards, giving you 2 more attacks to work with, giving you a chance to pressure or finish off the opponent with. And alrighty, the Grade 3 Diabolos Violence Bruce. We got 1 in the deck, 1 in the right deck, leaving it that way. And next up, the Grade 3 Upward Acrobat Marjorie. Not playing her anymore, taking her out. The Grade 3 Normal Order Hell Blast Full Dive. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out. And next we're putting in the Grade 3s. Let's see. For the next Grade 3s we're putting in the deck, I guess we'll put in, what would be a good choice? Alright, here, the Grade 3 Diabolos Striker Brian. Skill, action as a rear guard once per turn. Cost Soul Blast 2. If the cost is paid until end of turn, All of your front row units gets plus 5,000 power, and if you're in final rush, choose one of your vanguards and it gets plus 1 critical. So for Brian, he's a support card for the Bruce deck. With his skill, just by paying the cost, not only can you give your front rows units, Vanguard and Rearguard included, more power to work with, but also, if this skill was activated while in final rush, you can also give plus 1 critical to your Vanguard, making it easier to pressure or finish off your opponent with the increased power and critical. Okay, then the grade 3, Diabolos Striker Brian. We're putting 2 into the deck, 2 is enough. Next, the grade 3, Normal Order, Pandemonium Tactics, Skill, Order, plenty of it costs Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, Soul Charge 4. Then, if you're in Final Rush, perform all of the following according to the number of cards in your soul. 6 or more cards, draw a card. 8 or more cards. All of your front row units gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. 12 or more cards, choose one of your vanguards and it gets plus 1 critical until end of turn. So for Pandemonium Tactics, a powerful order card to play in your Dark States decks, especially for the Bruce decks. With its skill, just by playing a mere Counterblast of 1, you get to Soul Charge 4 cards to later Soul Blast with. But also, if you are in Final Rush while playing this order card, by the time you finish Soul Charging, you get to activate a number of powerful effects depending on how many cards are in your soul after activating this order. You can potentially draw a card to restock your hand, give your front row plus 10,000 power to give you more power to potentially pressure your opponent with, and then also have the chance to give your Vanguard plus 1 critical, making it easier to finish them off. And okay, dokie, the grade 3 Normal Order, Pandemonium Tactics, we got 2 in the deck, putting 2 more, playing 4. And next we're putting in the grade 3, Diabolos Diver Julian. Skill, auto as a rear guard once per turn. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, cost Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, this unit gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn for each card in your damage zone. If you have a Vanguard Bruce in its card name, Soul Charge 1 for every 2 cards in your damage zone. Choose up to the same number of cards Soul Charge for this effect from your soul and call them to rear guard. So for Julian, another support card for the Bruce deck with its skills, just by attacking the opponent's Vanguard by paying the cost, not only can you give more power to your front row Julian's attack, but also you can Soul Charge cards with this skill and give you also the chance to potentially call new rear guards to attack with. So ideally, Julian, a good way to become a more powerful front row attacker, a good way to build up your soul and to also refill your rear guards for boosting and attacking with. And alrighty, the grade 3, Diabolos Diver Julian, we are putting 3 into the deck. 3 is enough. And with that, we just about covered the deck's grade 3 lineup. Now let's get on to the grade 2 lineup. For the grade 2s of this deck, we're playing right deck, grade 2, Diabolos Anchor Richard. Skills for skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, cost, put a rear guard into your soul. If the cost is paid, draw a card. Second skill, continuous as a rear guard. If you are in Final Rush, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. And so for Richard, he's the main grade 2 to ride his deck. With his skills, the first skill, just by riding Richard into the Vanguard, by paying the cost, not only can you build up your soul for later Soul Blast, but to also restock your hand with more cards. And the second skill, just by being on the rear guard while Final Rush is active, your Richard can serve as a potential 15,000 point attacker for the front row. And alright, the grade 2, Diabolos Anchor Richard, we got 1 in the right deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the grade 2, Diabolos Jetbacker Leonard, not playing this card anymore, taking it out. And in its place, we're putting in the grade 2 lineup. Let's see. The grade 2 we're putting in is the grade 2. Let's see here. The grade 2, Diabolos Boys Eden. Skills for skill, continuous as a rear guard. If you are in Final Rush, this unit gets plus 5,000 power, and if it withstand this turn by a card effect, plus 1 critical. Second skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attack hits, cost Counterblast 1. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. So for Eden, another support card for the Bruce decks. With its skills, the first skill, just by being in Final Rush, you can turn your Eden into a potential 15,000 point attacker, and after restanding, another powerful rear guard to potentially pressure or finish off your opponent with the plus 1 critical. And second skill, just by landing a successful attack on either the opponent's Vanguard or rear guard, by paying the cost, you'll be able to retire rear guards, making your Eden a good way to also clear your opponent's field of rear guards. And alrighty, the grade 2, Diabolos Boys Eden. We are putting 3 into the deck. 3 is enough. And next up, the grade 2, Diabolos Returner Derek. Skills for skill, continuous as a rear guard. If you are in final rush, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. And second skill, action as a rear guard once per turn. Cost, counterblast 1 and put a rear guard into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your opponent's rear guards for every 4 cards in your soul and retire them. Then if you're in final rush, look at the same number of cards from the top of your deck as the number of cards of your opponent's open rear guard circles. Choose any number of units from among them, call the rear guard, and put the rest into the soul. So for Derek, another support card for the Bruce decks. With its skills, the first skill, just by being in final rush, your Derek can serve as a potential 15,000 point attacker all on his own. And second skill, by paying the cost, you have the chance to more or less retire your opponent's rear guards for every 4 cards from the soul. Then if final rush is active while this skill is played, you can also superior call new rear guards on for every empty rear guard on your opponent's field, giving you not only a good way to have more attackers and boosters, but then after calling, any residual cards you have that were revealed by this card's skill get put to the soul. So again, a good way to retire rear guards, a good way to call new rear guards to attack with, and to build up your soul for later soul blast. That is Derek's second skill. And okie dokie, the grade 2, Diabolos Returner Derek. We got 2 in the deck, putting 2 in, playing 4, and then the grade 2, Diabolos Striker Lyle. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out, and then we're putting in the next grade 2 we're playing. Let's see, what would be good? What would be good? Tough choice, tough choice. I guess I'll be putting in the grade 2. The grade 2, Diabolos Madonna Megan. Skill, auto as a rear guard. When this unit attacks, if you're in final rush, this unit gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So for Megan, another support card for the Bruce deck. With her skill, just by being in final rush while attacking, your Megan can serve as a potential 20,000 point attacker all on her own. And alright, the grade 2, Diabolos Madonna Megan. We're putting 3 into the deck. Yep, 3 is enough. And with that, we just about covered the deck's grade 2 lineup. Now it's time to go to the grade 1 lineup. For the grade 1s of this deck we are playing, right deck, grade 1, Diabolos Bad Steve. Skills for skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, choose a card from your soul, call to the back row center rear guard circle, and soul charge 1. And the second skill, continuous as a rear guard. If you're in final rush, this unit gets plus 5,000 power. So for Steve, he's the main grade 1 to ride his deck. With the skills, the first skill, just by riding Steve to the Vanguard, you can superior call any card from the soul to the back row center rear guard circle to serve as a back row booster for your Vanguard's attack. And also soul charge 1, giving you more cards to later soul blast with. And the second skill, with Steve in the rear guard while final rush is active, Steve can serve as a potential 13,000 point attacker for the front row and a 13,000 point booster from the back row. And alright then, the grade 1, Diabolos Bad Steve. We got 1 in the right deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the grade 1, Protobulk Dragon. Not playing this card anymore, taking it out. Next, the grade 1, Recusal Hate Dragon. Sentinel, Perfect Guard. Skills for skill, continuous Sentinel. Second skill, auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, choose one of your units, and it cannot be hit until end of battle. If your hand has 2 more cards, choose a card from hand, discard it. So for Recusal Hate, it's the perfect guard for the Dark States Nation. Like any other perfect guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. When used to guard with and discarding a card from your hand, you can block one enemy attack. But Recusal Hate also features an additional ability unique to all these standard format perfect guards. When used to guard with while you have less than 2 cards in hand, you will not have to pay the usual discard 1 cost, making Recusal Hate Dragon a potential no-cost perfect guard in desperate last resort situations. Alrighty, the grade 1, Recusal Hate Dragon. We got 4 in the deck, taking 1 out, only playing 3. And next for the grade 1 lineup, we're playing next the grade 1, Blitz Order, Elementaria Sanctitude. Skills for skill, continuous Sentinel. You may only have up to 4 cards of continuous Sentinel in deck. Second skill, continuous. You may only have up to 1 Elementaria Sanctitude in the deck. Third skill, Order. If your opponent's Vanguard has triple drive, this ability can be played without paying the cost. Plays with a cost of, discard a card from your hand. If your Vanguard is grade 3 or less, if the cost is paid, choose one of your units. It cannot be hit until end of battle. Remove this card. So for Elementaria Sanctitude, it's the Blitz Order version of the Perfect Guard. Like any other Perfect Guard in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, it features the same skill and activation. When activated and discarding a card from your hand, you can block one enemy attack. But ideally, Elementaria Sanctitude is a Perfect Guard best played against opponents who play Vanguards of triple drive. For example, Great Force or Vanguards that increase their drive check by skill or card effect. With this Blitz Order, it can serve as a potential no-cost Perfect Guard against such opponents. And okie dokie, the Great One, Elementaria Sanctitude, we'll be putting one into the deck. And next up, the Great One, Monitoring Gear Dober, not playing this card anymore, taking it out. And in its place, we're putting in the Great One. The Great One we're putting into this deck next is... Let's see here, the Great One, Diabolos Jetter Wade, skill action as a rear guard. If you have a Vanguard Bruce in its card name, cost, put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your Vanguards and it gets plus 10,000 power until end of turn. So for Wade, another support card for the Bruce deck. If it's skill, just by having Bruce in the Vanguard, as long as you don't mind moving Wade into your soul, you can give your Vanguard plus 10,000 power, making Wade a good way to not only build up your soul for little soul blast, but to also empower your Vanguard with more power to potentially pressure or finish off your opponent with. And alright, the Great One, Diabolos Jetter Wade, we're putting 3 into the deck. Yep, 3 is enough. And with that, we pretty much finished the Great One lineup. Now it's time to go to the Grade 0 lineup. For the Grade 0s of this deck, we are playing right deck, Grade 0, Diabolos Innocent Matt. Skill, auto, when this unit is rolled upon, if you went second, draw a card. So for Matt, he's the starting unit of this deck. Like any other starting unit in the D standard format, he features the same skill and activation. When being written on top of, if you went second, draw a card. So for Diabolos Innocent Matt, we have 1 in the right deck, leaving it that way. And now it's time to go to the trigger lineup. For the triggers of this deck, we are playing the Grade 0 Stem Deviate Dragon, critical trigger, skill, auto as a rear guard. At the end of battle, this unit boosted. If the cost put this unit into your soul. If the cost is paid, choose one of your units and it gets plus 2,000 power until end of turn. So for Stem Deviate, a powerful critical trigger to play in your Dark Space Station decks. If it's skill, after boosting the attack, regardless if the attack hits or not, as long as you don't mind moving Stem Deviate from your rear guard to your soul, you can then not only build up your soul for later soul blast, but to also give a remaining attacker in your field, Vanguard or rear guard, a little extra more power to work with. And alright, the Grade 0 Stem Deviate Dragon, critical trigger, we got 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. Next up, the Grade 0, here, the Grade 0, Diabolos Girl My critical trigger, putting 3 into the deck, 3 is enough. Next, the Grade 0, Roos Vault Master Riley, draw trigger, not playing her anymore, taking her out. And next up, the Grade 0, Diabolos Girl Natalia, front trigger, skill, continuous as a guardian. If your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield. So for Natalia, a powerful front trigger to play in your Dark Space Station decks. If her skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of her skill are met, your Natalia can serve as a potential 20,000 point shield on her own. Okie dokie, the Grade 0, Diabolos Girls Natalia, front trigger, we have 4 in the deck, leaving it that way. And next up, the Grade 0, Diabolos Girls Ariana, heal trigger, not playing her anymore, taking her out, and in her place, we're putting in the Grade 0. Let's see, the Grade 0. Here, the Grade 0. Incorruptible Holy Light, Yupia, heal trigger, skill, auto. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if your opponent's attacking unit has attacked 2 or more times this turn, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. Active if this battle is the second attack this turn or more. So for Yupia, a powerful heal trigger to play in your Dark Space Station decks. If her skill, when used to guard with, while her conditions of her skill are met, you can turn your Yupia into a potential 25,000 point shield on her own. Ideally, Yupia is more or less a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks that specialize in restanding and attacking multiple times with their units, either their Vanguard or rear guard. So for Incorruptible Holy Light Euphia, we are putting 2 into the deck. 2 is enough. And next up, the Grade 0 Brilliant Floral Uenia Heal Trigger, Skill, Auto. When this unit is put in the Guardian Circle, if the attacking unit's critical is 2 or greater, and its critical is increased by a non-trigger effect ability, or its original critical is 2 or greater, this unit gets plus 15,000 shield until end of battle. So for Uenia, another powerful heal trigger to play in your Dark Space Nation decks. If her skill, when used to guard with while the conditions of the skill are met, Uenia can serve as a potential 25,000 point shield on her own. Ideally, Uenia is a counter heal best played against opponents who play decks specialized in increasing their attacking unit's critical by skill or card effect, not by trigger. And alright, the Grade 0 Brilliant Floral Uenia Heal Trigger, we are putting 2 into the deck. 2 is enough. And last but not least, the Grade 0 Hades Dragon Deity of Resentment Damage Held Over Trigger, Skill Trigger Additional Effect. You get during your turn, all of your Vanguards gets plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical until end of fight. So for damage held, he's the overtrigger for the Dark Space Nation. Like any other overtrigger in the Cardfight Vanguard trading card game, he features the same skill and activation. When revealed during a drive check or damage check, you get 100 million power and draw a card. But damage held also features an ability unique to him alone. When revealed during a drive check on your turn, for the remainder of the fight, your Vanguard will always have plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical on your turn, making Gamma Shell a powerful overtrigger best revealed the earlier you reveal it during a fight on your turn. For the moment you reveal it on a drive check on your turn, you have the chance to pressure and potentially finish off your opponent with a continuous plus 10,000 power and plus 1 critical to your Vanguard for the rest of the fight. So for the Grade 0, Hades Dragon Deity of Resentment, Gamma Shell, Overtrigger, we already have 1 in the deck, leaving it that way. And with that, the deck's been built, Cardfight explained. Let's save the deck. Overwrite deck being built, yes. And for the cards in this deck, we are playing 4 Grade 4s, Diabolos Unrivaled Bruce, 1 Grade 3, Diabolos Violence Bruce, 2 Grade 3, Diabolos Striker Brian, 4 Grade 3, Pandemonium Tactics, 3 Grade 3, Diabolos Diver Julian, 1 Grade 2, Diabolos Anger Richard, 3 Grade 2, Diabolos Boys Eden, 4 Grade 2, Diabolos Returner Derek, 3 Grade 2, Diabolos Madonna Megan, 1 Grade 1, Diabolos Bat Steve, 3 Grade 1, Recusal Hate Dragon, 1 Grade 1, Elementaria Sanctitude, 3 Grade 1, Diabolos Jetter Wade, 1 Grade 0, Diabolos Innocent Matt, starting unit. And now for the trigger lineup of this deck, for the triggers in this deck, we are playing 7 critical triggers, 4 front triggers, 4 heal triggers, and 1 over trigger, Damage Hell. Alrighty, the deck has been built, card effects explained. Now it's time to test out the deck, so let's leave the edit deck menu and return to the main menu. Off to the fight menu, down to CPU fight, selecting the deck I just built, the Dark States, Diabolos Violence Bruce deck, made up of cards only available up until D-BT06. Selecting deck and choosing the opponent. For the opponent, I'm gonna test it out on. I'm using it against Keter Sanctuaries, Toya Bata, normal difficulty. And the battle begins. Let's get started. And here we are in the fight, deciding who goes first. And they rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Rock the scissors, I win, going first. Drawing our starting hands, draw. I got a Great 1 Wayne, a Great 4 Unrivaled Bruce, 2 Pandemonium Tactics, and 1 Derek. Not bad, pretty good. So I'm just gonna have one of each card, returning the extra Pandemonium Tactics in my hand back to the deck, and redraw. Great 2 Eden, nice. And I'm going first, I draw, I write from the right deck, Diabolos Bad Steve. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding, I'm discarding 1 Derek. Discard Derek and write Steve. And Steve's skill, Superior Call from my soul, Innocent Matt. From the soul to the rear guard, call, and Soul Charge 1, Soul Charge. Ah, no, my Overtrigger came out of the deck, come on! The very first Soul Charge in my Overtrigger had to be the very card it Soul Charges? Ah. Fine, whatever, end of turn. My opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Great 1, Fort. Skill of his starter base, he draws a card. And he goes to battle phase, 8k to 8k. No guard, taking the attack. Drive check. Ah, draw trigger, come on. He draws a card and power up. Out. Damage check. No trigger, perfect guard. Ah, not good. End of my opponent's turn, it's my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right deck. Diabolos Anger Richard. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1 Pandemonium Tactics, discard, and ride Richard. Skill of Richard, I move Matt from the soul to the soul, and I draw 1 card, and draw. I got a Great 1 Wade, not bad. Alright, calling to the rear guards, 1 Wade, and calling another Wade, calling. That should be enough. Or do I go for full attack? Nah, just gonna go with this field for now. Going to the battle phase. My rear guard Wade attacks the Vanguard, 8k. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage. Damage check. Ah, Overtrigger, come on! The first damage had to be an Overtrigger, now he has 0 damage, and with my Overtrigger out of the deck, I can't do anything else. What rotten luck. Fine, whatever. Vanguard to Vanguard. No pass. Drive check. Ah, critical trigger. Wasted trigger. Come on. What is with the triggers in this match? It's like the triggers are working against me for this whole fight. Whatever, trigger effect wasted, and attack fails, and that's the end of my turn, my opponent's turn. My opponent rides the Great 2, Rooks, skill of Fort, and look at revealing 2 Great 3s, and the top part of his deck is, yes, a heal trigger, trigger wasted. He's forced to Superior Call it, and goes straight to battle phase. 15k. No guard, taking the attack. Drive check. Ah, another draw trigger, come on! How does he keep getting so lucky with all the triggers? Damage check. No trigger, Elementary Sanctitude, come on, the perfect guard again. My turn, I stand and draw. And I drew a heal trigger this timing. What is with my luck today? Whatever, I'm riding from the right deck, Diabolos Violence Bruce. For the right deck cost, I'm discarding 1... this is a tough choice. I'm gonna discard 1 Euphia, discard, and write Bruce. Next, I'm gonna move... No, wait. I'm calling Eden to the rear guard, call, and I call Stem Deviate to the rear guard, call, and I'm gonna activate Wade's skill. Move him to the soul, and give my Vanguard plus 10,000 power, and on to the battle phase. Eden attacks the Vanguard, 10,000, the attack goes through, and boom! 1 damage, damage check, no trigger, Alden, safe. Now Eden's skill, Counterblast 1, Counter Blast, and retire 1 rear guard, retire his heal trigger in the back row, and now boosted by Stem Deviate, Wade attacks the Vanguard, 12k. He guards with a draw trigger, 15k, 7, and the attack is blocked. Now here comes Stem Deviate skill into the soul, and plus 2,000 to the Vanguard. Now it's Bruce's turn. Bruce attacks the Vanguard, 25k. The attack goes through. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger, grade 3, second check. No trigger, grade 3. So 1 damage to my opponent. And boom! Damage check. No trigger, grade 3, safe. And that's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. My opponent rides the grade 3 Apex Ruler Bastion and 4th skill, revealing 3 grade 3s and draw a card. He plays the set order, Pride to Protect. And now he calls Pasado and Reflute. Reflute skill into Soul plus power to Pasado. Not good. Battle phase, Vanguard to Vanguard. No guard, taking the hit. Twin Drive, first check. No trigger, grade 3, but nothing to restand, so he wasted it. Second check. Another grade 3. Yep, he should have attacked Pasado first, so... Here comes the Ray of Light. Damage check. No trigger. Now here comes Pasado for 25. I guard the front trigger, 28k. Attack blocked. And ka-chink, safe. End of my opponent's turn, my turn. Stand and draw. I ride from the right. Nope, I activate my Vanguard skill. Final Rush activated. Now I'm going to ride from my hand. Diabolos Unrivaled Bruce. Ride! Unrivaled Bruce. Next, I activate the order card, Pandemonium Tactics. Counterblast 1, Counter Blast, and Soul Charge 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Draw a card, power to front row, and I move way to the back row and call to the rear guard. Diabolos Diver Julian, calling. And I'm gonna activate Wait skill and move it to the Soul. 10,000 to the Vanguard. That should do it. And let's head on to the battle phase. First, Eden attacks the Vanguard for 25k. He guards with a heal trigger. And the attack fails. Now Julian attacks the Vanguard for 13k. And... not gonna activate Julian's skill. He guards with a draw trigger, the attack fails. And now... Violence. My Vanguard Unrivaled Bruce attacks the Vanguard. 33k, triple drive, first. No trigger, grade 3, second check. No trigger, grade 3, third check, come on. Grade 4, come on, nothing. The attack fails, and now 1 damage. Heal trigger, come on. He powers up, and now I activate Unrivaled Bruce's skill. Counterblast 1, Counterblast, Soul Blast 1, Soul Blast, Soul Blast. 4 cards, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Soul Blasting these 4. Wait, Soul Blast 5, Soul Blasting 1 more, 5. Soul Blast 5 cards, and restand my front row. Critical to Eden. And now my Vanguard attacks the Vanguard again. 33k, the attack goes through, drive check. No trigger again, come on, where are all the triggers? Boom, 1 damage. Damage check. No trigger. And now, Eden attacks the Vanguard for 25k, 2 criticals. He guards with a heal trigger. And the attack fails, alright. Then Julian is gonna attack the rear guard Pasado, 13k. The attack goes through, and boom! 1 less rear guard to worry about. That's the end of my turn. My opponent's turn. My opponent is going to call Alden. Alden's skill, Superior Call, Rapflute. Draw 2 cards, and Rapflute's skill into Soul. 10,000 to Alden. And calling a grade 3 Sparare and Blackguard, full formation. Rear guard the Vanguard, 25k. And Alden gets plus 5,000 power, 30k. Tough choice. No guard, taking the attack. Ow! Damage check. No trigger, come on! Where are all my triggers? Vanguard the Vanguard. I am going to... tough choice. I'm gonna... Perfect Guard with... Refusal Hate, Perfect Guard. For the Perfect Guard cost, I'm gonna discard... One Unrivaled Bruce, discard, and Perfect Guard activated. Twin Drive, first check. Grade 3, he can restand one rear guard, not good. Second check. Front trigger, come on! Power to the front row, and... Ka-chink! Safe! Here it comes! He restands Alden, plus 10,000 power. Nope. And skill activated. 55k to Vanguard. And, this side is only 45k. I got 30k shields. I gotta get a trigger. Come on, give me a trigger. No guard. Ow! Damage check, come on. Yes! Front trigger! Finally a lucky trigger. Power to the front row. And now the rear guard attacks the Vanguard for 45k. I guard for 53k. Attack blocked. And safe. Ka-chink! Safe. That was a close one. My turn, stand at draw. Heal trigger, come on! Why are my triggers working against me? Whatever, I'm gonna activate my Vanguard skill, Final Rush. Final Rush activated. And I'm going to ride Bruce and call to the back row. Brian. Calling over here. Brian's skill, Soul Blast 2 cards, Soul Blasting 1 and Soul Blasting 2. Soul Blasting 2, Soul Blast 2 cards, and plus 5,000 power to the front row, and plus 1 critical. That should be enough. Now it's time to go to the battle phase. First up, my rear guard Eden attacks the Vanguard, 20k. He guards with a critical, 28k. And the attack fails. Now Julian is going to attack the... For every 2 cards in damage zone, alright. Julian attacks the Vanguard. Not activating the skill yet, 18k. He guards with a critical, 28k. And the attack fails. Now my Violence Bruce attacks the Vanguard, 18k, 2 crits, double guard, 53k, no pass, triple drive, first check, no trigger, perfect guard, second check. Yes, front trigger, just what I needed. I give all effects to my front row, and the third check. No trigger, great one, and the attack fails, but now here comes Unrivaled Bruce's skill. I'm going to Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, and Soul Blast 5 cards. Soul Blasting 1, 2, 3. Hold on, let's see. Yep, Soul Blasting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Soul Blasting these 5. Soul Blasting 5, and restand the Vanguard. Plus 1 critical to Eden. Now Bruce attacks the Vanguard, 28k, 2 crits, perfect guard activated. And no discard, my attack fails. Drive check. Yes, critical trigger, just what I needed. I give all effects to Julian. Julian powers up with power and critical, and the attack fails, but no problem there. Now Julian attacks the Vanguard, 38,000 power to the Vanguard, skill activated. I Counter Blast 1, Counter Blast, 2,000 power for every damage zone card, plus 10,000, and Soul Charge 2 cards, 1 and 2, and Superior Call up to 2 cards. I'm Superior Calling from the Soul, Bad Steve, and Derek. Superior Call 1 and 2. Call! My opponent perfect guards again, no cost perfect guard. My Julian's attack fails, but now he has nothing left to protect him. I can finish him off now, boosted by Bad Steve, Eden attacks the Vanguard, 43,000 power, 2 criticals. The attack goes through and boom! Damage 1. No trigger, damage 2. No trigger, 6 damage, I win! That was a pretty rough fight. Despite some really bad luck with the triggers, I still managed to pull out a win. I got to try at least like 1 or 2 of the new cards, so I got win, attack 40,000 more power, attack 6 or more times in 1 turn, perfect guarded, opponent drew an over trigger, 8 turns passed, did a superior call, and retired 5 more opposing units. I got 2600 BP total, 45,875 BP, pressing A to go next, leaving the fight and returning to the fight menu. Here we are in the fight menu, returning to main menu, back to main menu, on to edit deck menu. And with that, the deck's been built, cards explained, and I just finished testing out the deck in front of you. So first I want to say is, thank you to the viewers for watching today's video, and to please stay tuned for more videos I plan to upload again in the near future. I also hope you all show support by liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing to my videos and channel. And with that I say, goodbye and